Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for Renaissance Periodization, our custom training templates. You go online to our snazzy website, linked in the description, and you design yourself a training program exactly tailored to your needs and desires. We have a video linked right here for you about how to go about the ordering process and making sure you pick all the right muscle groups and getting a routine together that you really like. Costs $100, $99, unless it's on sale. And then you basically have 12 to 18 weeks or more of customizable training. I know, it's a good deal, right? I'll pat myself on the back for that one. But here's the deal. We did that video, and there was sort of how to order the thing, and you could go on the website and preview a little sample. We're going to do you one better. Once you get your program, what is it that you're getting? What does it look like? And how do you actually run it? So some of you folks might be like, yeah, I might want to order this, but what the hell is it going to look like and how customizable is it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So here we go. Let's say you went in and you ordered a 6-day-a-week training program and you picked some muscle groups to train. What do you get? What does it look like? Well, you get a bunch of ancillary documents. I'm not going to give you a tour of those. Those are boring as hell. But you get an FAQ of like 50 frequently asked questions. You get a how-to document that's going to say everything I'm going to say, except in text and a little bit more boring. I'll try and jazz it up for you. But let's take a little grand tour of what you actually receive as far as the training document itself. So when you open up, and I'm going to be following here, and you guys can follow along with me, you get this document, and it has essentially sort of two main parts to it. The first part is the building your program part, which is colored sort of grayish. And then just to the right of it, it's the during your training part, because this first you build your program and specify all the muscle groups and everything like that. And then there are things to do during your training so that your program can adapt to your needs and auto-regulate for you to make sure that your volumes are exactly what you need to get probably our best estimate of what your best muscle growth will be. So here's the deal. The first thing you have to do, and don't worry, all the steps tell you to do this anyway, is to choose your exercise. Now, the leftmost column says exercise focus, and that's what shows you what the exercise trains. So in our example, first exercise on our first day of training here, let's say it's a Monday, is for shoulders. So what you would do is you would pick your exercise. In this case, we'll pick the second one, which is cross-body lateral raise. Ooh. What the hell is that even? Cable cross-body lateral raise. What is that? Well, don't you worry, because the next column over has an instructional video. If you click on it, it goes straight to YouTube, opens up a video of probably Jared Feather demoing the exercise and probably me, if you turn up your volume, blabbing about how to do the technique. It's super short. It's not like a whole huge video. It's like 15 to 30 seconds. Just shows a couple reps of how to do the exercise. So now you pick the exercise. You have an instructional video built in already. The next thing you want to do is pick your estimated 10 rep max. Here's the cool thing. You don't need to adjust for fatigue. So for example, if you're going down to the last exercise in this day, which is extra trap work, and you pick some exercise, let's say we choose the barbell shrug, pretty straightforward. You don't have to say, oh, my 10 RM, but am I assuming it's the fourth exercise and I'm already tired? The weight selection process where we actually take your 10 RM and pick your working weights for you, that's already integrated that completely. So all you have to do is choose your fresh 10 rep maxes. And here's the biggest point, huge point, enormous point, gigantic point. You just have to take the most raw guess, just an estimate. Because in hypertrophy training, the range of loads that can grow muscle is really large. Anywhere from like your 5 rep max all the way to your 30 rep max and even a little higher. So when we're asking for your 10 rep max, just don't be off by like hundreds of pounds and you'll be good. So like if you're, let's say, doing cross-body lateral raise and you think your 10 RM is like 25 pounds, but it's really 20 or it's really 30, that's no big deal. It won't affect anything meaningful at all. So just take a decent guess at it. And here's another thing. Be conservative. This program is not designed at all in a way that if you're a little bit uppity with your max estimates, you'll get stronger. And a lot of people think that's true. And I understand where they're coming from, but you're like, okay, you're making this program. You're like, all right, cross-body lateral raise. I know my 10 RM is basically 20 pounds, and if I type in 25, I'll get even stronger and bigger. BS. It just doesn't work like that. So if anything, you want to be able to hang on during this program, not risk injury too much, not elevate your fatigue too much, not let your technique break down, chasing wild numbers. Your best bet is to choose a 10RM that you know, like for sure, fresh after warm-up, you could hit 10 reps, maybe 11, maybe 12 if you had a gun to your head. So there's no bonus points for choosing too high. And as a matter of fact, there's only downsides. So be conservative. Don't worry. The program will work even better if you're conservative than if you're not. So estimated 10RM, say type in 20 for that exercise for cable crossbody laterals, typed in 20, and voila. If you look over into week 1, exercise has the cable crossbody lateral. It has a number of sets for you to do. In this case, it's 3. And it has your working weight, which says 20. Unbelievable. Is it kilos or pounds? Doesn't matter. It's units. So if you are in the UK and you're really strong, it's 20 kilos. And if you're in the United States or somewhere else that uses pounds, which includes maybe just the United States, your 20 is now pounds, right? So you don't need units for this. It can be whatever you want. And then it has, and now we transitioned into the running the document part. So before we get into this part, all you have to do in building your program is choose all of your exercises in the exercise column. The instructional videos pop up automatically. And then you have your estimated 10RMs for all these that you choose. You type in week 1. By the way, in later weeks, if you do an exercise and it's like a little too heavy and your reps aren't what you want them to be, you can always go back and change the 10RM, decrease it. Again, you will not get weaker doing this. You will not gain less muscle. It's just going to give you better training. If you up or increase your 10RM later or decrease it, it's totally fine. No big deal. Just be realistic. So you can always change these later, but you basically pick all your exercises, pick your RM values for the 10RMs, and then the worksheet auto-completes itself with all the stuff that you need, and then you have a completed, ready-to-go program for when you want to train. Now, that's the build your own program. We're through with that. Easy peasy. During your training, you have a couple of things to do. You already have the exercise. You already have the number of sets. You already have the weight, and you have a rep goal. And the rep goal says 3/fail. What the fuck is that? It's very simple. It just means 3 from fail, which means 3 RIR, 3 reps in reserve. So in week 1 of this program, you're going to do as many reps as you can each set and stop 3 shy of that number. So if 20 for crossbody laterals, you could do 15 reps or something like that, then you stop at around 12. Right? You guys have trained with RIR training before. If you haven't, it's no big deal. Just stop when it gets pretty hard. That's 3 RIR. Don't worry, the program will handle everything later. You just go a little further. Okay, you got the rep goal. Now, step 1 in this, and don't worry, this is all written here. It says, you have everything else up until this. It says, okay, train with 3 from fail for all of your sets. So you have 3 sets with 20 pounds. And then it says, enter your reps completed and do this for each exercise. So after you've warmed up, we have warm-up videos. Just type in Israel warm-up and how to warm up, and we have all those videos to take care of that. And type that in YouTube. After you've warmed up, you get to do your work sets. All the reps that you get for your work sets, you write in. So you write them in as, like, let's say you get 12 reps your first set, then 10, then 8. On the second and third, you write 12, 10, 8. That's for you to refer to later. We'll get to that. So you have to have those values for this sheet to work properly. Then, after the exercise is complete, you have 2 things to fill out for every single exercise. You have to select, and it's a drop-down menu. It's either -1, 0, or 1, and in some cases, just 0 or 1. And you just have to fill out your soreness rating and your pump rating. And if you're ever confused about what the hell that means, step 2 and step 3 describe soreness rating and pump rating pretty well. But basically, if you're still sore from last time in that muscle group, it's a -1. That's what you select. If you're recovered just in time for the session, it's 0. So like basically, let's say it's chest and it's Thursday and you barely recovered Wednesday and Thursday you woke up and like, oh, thank God I'm not sore, then it's a 0. And if you got a bit sore but healed way long ago, or if you just never really got sore last time you trained, so that, you're coming to cable crossbody laterals and your delts never got sore, you rate the soreness rating as a 1. Right? So it's -1, 0, 1. And depending on how you rate this, the program either keeps the number of sets that you had, adds sets, or subtracts sets. So basically, if you're having trouble recovering, the program reduces the number of sets you're doing because it's too many, you want to recover. If you're recovering just on time and everything's good, the program is left alone. Seems like it's good. If you are just way recovered, you could do more no problem and still recover. The program will add volume to your program. Sorry, good God, the program will add volume to the program. It really is true. The program will add volume to itself to a future time in which you do, like the next week, it'll add volume. So for example, if in week 1, it just wasn't enough stuff and you barely got sore, week 2 will usually have more sets if you rate honestly. Again, if you try to rig the system and be a bro about it and be like, look, Dad, I need more volume, you're going to get yourself into a place where you're under or over recovered by a long shot just trying to chase dragons. You want to be as honest as possible. The pump rating, very similar. There's 3 options. The confusing part is that the first 2 are both rated 0. That is not a typo. Your sheet isn't broken. It's on purpose. Okay, so if your pump was out of this world, mega pump, it's a 0. Mega pumps are good, but that means we don't add any more volume. If your pump was pretty good, it's still a 0, which won't add any more volume to your plan. If your pump was hardly noticeable or non-existent, that's not great. That probably means the stimulus is suboptimal. That's a 1, and that will raise your number of sets in future weeks for that exercise or other exercises at other points in the plan. Now, if you futz with these values and you're doing the sheet, within any 1 week that you rate pump and soreness, if you want to see, do my sets increase? Here's the thing. The autoregulatory logic is actually a little bit more complicated than it would seem. If you rate cross-body laterals, for example, as a 1 on soreness, does the next week give you 4 sets instead of 3? That might not be the case. Soreness actually judges the exercise that came half a week before. So for example, if Monday you have bench press and Thursday you have incline, and on Thursday you rate that your chest is still sore, what's going to happen is next Monday's bench press will reduce in volume because that's what made you sore and carried over into Thursday, right? But the pump, if the bench press got you pumped on Monday, but not pumped enough, and you rate it a 1, then it will add sets to next week's bench press because the pump rates itself, soreness rates the other exercise half a week ago for that same muscle group. In addition to that, some of the programs, specifically the 5-day ones, the soreness ratings are sometimes deactivated because it would produce really crazy results. Sometimes there's so much time between 2 different training sessions that if we said, I'm still not sore, you'd have like 15 sets of chest in a Monday and it would destroy you. You would still recover by the Friday that you train chest again, that it would be way too much volume. Some of those are rated with pumps only. Does that sound complicated? Great. It doesn't fucking matter because all you have to do is rate the shit honestly, and we've engineered it in such a way that everything takes care of itself. Can you get smart with it and rig it? Can you say, I disagree with the rating slightly, but I know my shit, and I'm going to either manually type in the sets I'm going to do, totally cool, if you know what you're doing, or rate it in such a way that raises and lowers the sets for me in a way that I want, that's totally cool. We trust you guys. You know what you're doing. But if you have to ask yourself the question like, is this a good idea or am I going to fuck myself up? Just rate the shit honestly and you'll be good to go. Rate everything. Do all the reps, do all the sets, and eventually you'll have trained for weeks and weeks. Your volume will be auto-regulated to the point that you're getting awesome muscle growth the entire time. And then that leads us to our last feature, which is the deload week, week number 6 in this program. Now, here's the thing. If you get really messed up and you have to deload earlier, just skip to the deload week. If it's week 4 and you're like, I can't keep doing this, I'm going to fall apart, skip to week 6, the deload. The deload is profoundly easy. That's by design. If you want to skip the deload, don't do it. If you're dying to skip the deload, don't do it. If you just can't wait to skip the deload, don't do it. Do the deload. It's designed to let you recover to set up a great next phase of training. So the deload is on purpose, I promise. Now, one last super important thing. When you're going week to week to week, and it has rep goals for you, first 2 weeks are 3 from fail, then the next 2 weeks are 2 from fail, and week 5 is 1 rep away from failure, which is really fucking close to failure. And if you want, you can go all the way to failure. No big deal. Dealer's choice. How do you know how many reps to get? The sets are auto-programmed. The weight is auto-programmed. By the way, you can edit the weight anytime you want. It's all whatever you want to do. How do you know how hard to push yourself? Because 2 RIR or 2 from fail, it leaves a lot to the imagination. Some days you feel great, some days you don't feel great. Here's my biggest tip. Because you're writing down all the rep results, here's what I would do. Sometimes, again, it's not broken, it's on purpose. Week to week to week, you'll have the same weight. What do you do then? Whatever reps you got in the earlier week, in the next week, my recommendation to get really good results is just to add a rep to every set as your goal. So let's say you hit 12, 10, 8 in week 1. In week 2, it's still 20 pounds. Aim for 13, 11, 9. And if you have a 4th set, whatever that is, 2 from fail or 3 from fail, right? And then maybe that's like a 7 or 8. And the next week, if it's still 20 pounds, 14, 12, 10, 9 instead of 8, right? So you added another one. If the weight is the same, add a rep. If the weight goes up, just try to keep the same reps. Now, if you're really feeling your swag, you can add 2 reps, or you can add 1 rep and 5 pounds at the same time, or 2.5 pounds or 10 pounds or whatever the sheet adds for you. My best recommendation here is err on the side of being a little bit conservative. Yes, almost always add something, if not always. Add a rep at least, or weight at least, just a little bit of weight. Always add something, but add a minimal amount of something. The way you grow muscle isn't like this Viking charge into battle, like, fuck it, add 5 reps and fucking 50 pounds. You don't make gains that are meaningful in a week of bravery. You make small gains and just incremental, small adjustments upwards. And if you keep doing that weeks over weeks over weeks and months over months, eventually you're going to be jacked as fuck. So all you have to do is challenge yourself a little bit each time and you're golden. So that's how you choose your reps. You set all of your baseline reps in the first week, and then you either add a rep or a bit of weight, or maybe a small combination of both. Now, check this out. After 5 working weeks of adding reps and weight, holy shit, probably your volume's going to go up too if you're recovering. It's going to be an unbelievable amount of work. Almost, or if not, the last thing I'll talk about today. If your workouts are taking a long time because there's so many sets, and you're like, look, I can work out for an hour and a half. After that, I'm just not interested in spending that much time at the gym. What do? Just manually change the number of sets to contract the workout so that you don't have to be in the gym for forever. Be like, oh, fuck, it says 6 sets of barbell shrugs today. I get the fuck out of here. 4 sets is totally cool. Volume's important, but as long as you're hitting it hard in every set with a really good technique and adding a little bit of weight and or reps every time, volume's not that important. So if you have life commitments, time commitments, you got a baby at home and a wife, hopefully, then you don't have to go crazy in the volume. But if you're in here for max gains, you do whatever volume it tells you to do, and you'll get really, really good results. Do all that stuff, increase by a little bit, do the ratings, get to the deload. Deload, if your performance ever stalls out and then falls, I would just start deloading right then. If that happens, you may have been too aggressive in the earlier weeks. So the next time you do this plan, be a little less aggressive and you may make it all the way through the 5 weeks of accumulation. Take a week of deload and then you'll be good to go. Notice your plan came with only 1 mesocycle of training. What the fuck? The male physique, female physique templates came with like 3. Here's the cool thing. When you get the shit, don't delete the email, save it, right? Save a blank copy of this so that after you finish the first 6 weeks, you can go to the blank copy, save as for the document, open it up. I would keep most of the same exercises if they're going really well for you. If you're getting a really good stimulus to fatigue ratio, getting good pumps, good tension, good soreness, your joints feel great, the exercise is progressing in weight and reps, I would just leave it the fuck alone. If just for shits and giggles you want to vary, totally cool. Or if the exercise is like, skull crushers are bothering my elbows, I think I'm going to change to push downs, totally fine as well. Change all the exercises you need. Don't change the ones that you don't. Give another shot at a realistic 10RM estimate. If it's the same exercise as last time, bump the 10RM estimate by, I don't know, 5 to 15 pounds in most cases, sometimes 2.5 pounds. Again, conservative is best. You'll know when you're much stronger and you can add more weight. And then you have another 6 weeks of ultra productive training. When do you need to buy a new one of these and get me another $99? I get like $5 of that or some shit. And because, I need Lamborghinis and expensive rims to put onto them. So when is it time for you to give me Lamborghini money by buying another template or another program? Well, the answer, truthfully, hopefully I don't get in trouble with everyone else at RP for saying this. You could buy one of these shits And if it's a number of days that you really like to train and the muscle groups that you picked are the ones that you really still want to prioritize just the same way, you can kind of use the same template indefinitely. Like you can fucking go months and years with the same shit. In most cases, what we want to tell you is this. And again, it's me shooting myself in my own financial foot. I don't know if I'm telling you this. Actually, I do. Is our number one goal at RP is to be completely fucking honest with you guys. We're not here to fucking jack you up for a bit of money now. We want long-term, benefits for everyone because everyone wins like that. So here's the reality. Almost every template, unless you really want to change the number of days you're training or the muscle priority, almost every template should be run for at least 2 mesocycles in a row that's 6 weeks long, so 12 weeks, and probably more like 2 to 3. So when you're paying $100 or whatever, you get 12 to 18 weeks minimum of training, and it can be even more if you like the program, if you like the number of days, if you like your muscle group split. If you don't, save that program because you could always come back to it and just get another program, pay another $100, pick everything very carefully. Last video will cover that. Video is linked. And then you've got another program, and now you have 2 really good programs, and you can alternate them. We are not interested in just scamming you guys for money like, hey, buy this program and then, whatever, buy one every month. Don't fucking do that. We have tons of customers. We make plenty of money. We want you guys to get fucking jacked because that's why you pay us money. So if you buy this program and you really like it and you want to keep using it, hey, use it for a long time. When you need another one, come back. We'll hook you up. It'll be super cheap. It'll be super awesome. And I think that's about it. If you guys have any questions, I'll be scanning the comments. I'll try to answer as many questions as possible. If you have any further questions once you buy your plan, etc., on the RP website, we have a customer service chat box. Just ask in there. They'll try to help you as much as possible. And hey, listen, go out there and get as much muscle as you can, because isn't that what life is about? Maybe. Anyway, see you next time.